I'm gonna show you guys how to reskin the Timberman Android source code. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get the link provided. Well, the first thing you want to do is actually install Eclipse. And you can, if you already have it installed, which I'm sure most of you do, great for you. You should also have the Android plugin for Eclipse installed as well. If you download the ADT or the Android Development Kit from the Android website, it automatically now comes with the Eclipse version that already has the plugin installed, which is cool. So what you want to do is you want to go to Help, Install New Software, and inside the documentation is a link that you need, and that link should look a little like this. It should say Gradle, and it should be this. And you want to copy that link from the source code, and you want to go to Add, and then paste it into Location, paste, and then you can name it whatever you want. I already have mine here. And so just hit OK. When you do that, just hit OK, and you should see something like this that pops up. Now you just want to check Gradle, hit Gradle, and then hit Next. I already have it installed, so it's not going to let me install it again. And just keep hitting Next, 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 and eventually it'll install, and then it'll prompt you to restart Eclipse. So go ahead and restart Eclipse, pause the video if you need to, and then come back. So once you finish that, what you want to do is you want to go to File, Import, and then you want to do Gradle. You want to scroll down to Gradle and do Gradle Project, Next, and you want to navigate to the source code folder of where you extracted the files that you bought from Chupa. And so you want to go to Source, which is inside of the source code folder, and just hit Open, and then hit Build Module, and it should build all the modules that we need. And then about 30 seconds, you should see this pop up. Once this pops up, you want to make sure that Timberman Desktop is unchecked. Make sure these two are checked, and hit Finish. Give it about a minute or so to do all the dependencies, etc. And voila. And next you want to go to File, Import, and we need to get the Google Play Game Services SDK. So hit Browse. Actually, I'm going to slow down. Go File, Import, and then go to Android, Existing Code, Browse, and then browse the source code. Just click the source code folder, the source folder, hit Open, and you should see these two automatically be selected, and then hit Finish. And you'll see those be added. They'll be added to the workspace. All right, once that's all done, you shouldn't really see any errors. All errors should be gone. There shouldn't really be any errors. If you do get errors, what you may need to do is, if you get an error for Android, you may need to go to Properties, and you may need to check and make sure these are green. If they're not green, if they're X's, you need to do remove both, and then do add them again, and then add both of those, hit apply, make sure whatever Android version you're using, make sure that box is checked here, hit OK, and you should be good to go. Now, if you get, let's say if you get another error on the Timberman core, which is prone to happen, what you need to do is you need to go to File, or right click, go to Properties, and you need to check the build path here. So click on build path, Java build path here, and then you want to go to Library, and then you want to make sure that this says JRE System Library. And if it doesn't say that, you need to, if it says like unable to locate or unable to find or whatever, you want to click it and then hit remove, and you want to go to add library, and then you want to add your own JRE System Library here. Add that, hit next, and you can do workspace default JRE home, whatever yours is, and hit finish, and hit OK, and you should be good to go from there. And if you did get an error with Timberman core, it should now disappear. Everything else should be good to go. Oh, also if you get more errors, or if you're still getting error, you also need to go to properties of each project, and you may not have Android 4. You may not have Android 4.4W installed. I can remove this. I don't know why it's there. You may have Android 4.4 installed, but you may have like some other API installed. So if you're using like 3.0 or 2 whatever, 3.4 or 4.0, whatever it is, just make sure you go here and check that, because if this is not available, then it will give you an error. It may change it automatically for you, but if it doesn't, just make sure you go into here and you change that and then hit OK. So that's pretty much it for importing the projects. You should be good to go from there. So the first thing we're going to talk about is monetization and how to reskin the monetization in Google Play Game Services. So this project uses AdMob and Chartboost, as you probably know. So to add your own AdMob apps is pretty simple. You want to go into the Timberman Android project, go to Source, and you want to go to the Android Launcher class, and you want to scroll down a bit, and you should see a line that says add your AdMob ID here. Once that's added, once you see that, what you need to do is whatever AdMob ID you get from the AdMob portal, you need to paste it here. And then you're pretty much all done for AdMob. So you start making money with those ads. The next thing is for Chartboost. Chartboost is pretty much the same thing. You need to get the app ID that will be created when you automatically add an app to the Chartboost portal. You'll get a app ID, which you paste here, and then you'll get an app signature, a string app signature, which you will place right here. And voila, that's everything for monetization. You're all good. Your Chartboost ads. Chartboost ads show as soon as the user opens up the game, and they show after every third time playing. And that's also, you can also change that if you want. But I recommend leaving it like that. So that's it for monetization. That's it for doing that. As far as Google Play Game Services, the first thing you want to do is you need to create or sign up your app on the Google Play Developer Console. You need to add your app and then register it for Google Play Game Services. And once you do that, you should get an app ID. And the app ID you get, you need to go into the resource folder here, values, strings, and you need to paste it right here. You need to paste that app ID here. Right now I'm just using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not real, but you know, this is for example. So you need to paste yours right here, and then hit OK, and then save it, and that's done. So your Google Play Game Services are reskinned now, and so that's good. The second thing you want to do is once you create your Google Play Game Services, you need to create a leaderboard, and that's going to be where the users submit their scores to keep track of everybody else's and play against the world in the game. So yeah. So then what you want to do is you want to make a leaderboard, and then you want to copy the ID of the leaderboard and paste it into here where we see these X's. You want to paste it here, and then you also want to paste it here, right here. All right. So show leaderboard method, you want to paste it there, and you want to paste it into the submit score method here. So this method submits the score to the leaderboard. This one shows the leaderboard itself. Done. So Google Play Game Services are all done now. That's perfectly good, and you're good to go. And do I want to say this? Yeah, it's fine. So now let's get into the actually reskinning the graphics. Reskinning the graphics are pretty simple. If you look into the assets folder of the Android project, you'll see that the assets folder directly kind of corresponds with the graphics folder in the source code. So the first thing is the backgrounds folder. So if you look into the backgrounds folder here, you'll see 3 backgrounds. You'll see store, night background, and then you'll see game over. So you just want to have your graphic designer go in and replace these graphics right here, and make sure they're the same size. All graphics, and I repeat, all graphics in all of these folders right here should be the same exact dimensions as they appear in the folder. So make sure your graphic designer is paying great attention to what dimensions each and every graphic is in this folder is, and make sure they're replacing those exactly as how they should, because if they're the wrong dimensions, you may get some fuzziness, or you may get like some graphics that won't fit on a screen, or some other weird things happening. So make sure that's done. So if your graphic designer replaces all these graphics, make sure they leave everything the same and just replace each graphic inside the folder. So then what you want to do is, if you want to replace the backgrounds, you just go to backgrounds and copy all those. Make sure the graphic designer knows that to name each graphic the exact same name as it appeared in this folder. The exact name. Nothing different. The exact name. Same file, PNGs, no JPEGs, PNGs. Background, you want to just copy all these, Control C, and then go to Assets here, and just Control V or whatever, paste it, whatever you're doing it, and just hit Yes to all, and then you successfully reskin the backgrounds. Next thing is the buttons. The buttons are the same thing. Have your designer go through, remake all the buttons, and then you can just copy and paste those. Control C, go into buttons here, Control V, copy and paste, and we'll cancel. Same thing for the font. The font, you can kind of leave that the same. I don't think you guys really want to change the font. If you do, you can email me directly. I can kind of give you further instructions on that. But I mean, it's just a font. I don't think it's gonna make or break your game. Music, same thing here. You want to do is if you're using MP3s or like Waves, whatever you're using, you want to use Audacity or some other tool to convert each file to an OGG file. And the reason why we're using OGG is because it's lightweight and really easy to use, and it's really good for games because it's small, so it doesn't take up a lot of memory to load and to play. So you want to name each one the same. So the chop sound, of course, is when the timberman actually chops a piece of wood. That's the sound it makes. Death is when he dies, and music is just the background ambient music. And you can make that whatever you want. Just make sure you name each one the same, and place it in the music folder, and just hit copy. And you just want to paste that directly into the music folder here. Progress bar, yeah, you can have your designer change it if you want. If you don't really like the one I use, you can have them change it. It uses 7 frames, so have your designer go in and create each frame. Make sure the names are the same, the dimensions are the same, of course, and you just want to copy each one of those. Control C, and or copy whatever, and paste it into the progress bar here. Just hit paste. Boom, done. The Timberman folder, corresponds directly with this Timberman folder. As you see, it has green, and this one has green, this one has red, this one has red, regular. So you want to have your designer go in and make these to be whatever you want them to be. This could be like I don't know, a Flappy Bird. Just make sure that each frame corresponds like it does here. So man 0 should be this one, but whatever you want it to be. Man 2 should be of that guy or whatever it is swinging the axe. Man 0 right should be on the one with him with the axe in his left hand, and he's swinging to the right. If you look from his perspective, he's on the right, so he's swinging to the right. And then the next one is the frame of him swinging to the right. So just make sure all these correspond with the same exact way they're made here, and make sure they're all the same dimensions. They all should be 284 by 12. Make sure these are the same dimensions, and do the same thing for the red, regular. And like I said, you can make these look however you want. You can make it be a chick, like the green, instead of being a green man, it can be like a chick. The red could be a dog or something. I don't know, a woodpecker, whatever. The regular Timberman can be like, I don't know, an old grandma. I don't know, whatever. And so just copy those. Once you do that, you can just select all these, copy, and just paste it into the Timberman folder. Boom, done. Next thing is a tree. You'll see something that's the stump. This is the base of the tree. So this is like the roots or whatever. So you can make yours look cool or whatever you want. I just kept it simple because these graphics are just kind of like dummy, like placement holders basically. I'm not actually going to be using this to like, publish or anything. This is just basically dummy graphics to use so you guys could kind of see what the game is or what it does. So the stump, have your designer replace the stump, and that's the base of the tree. And the tree itself, this is actually the blocks that makes up the tree. So as you see here, it's kind of like bark. So you can have your designer make like a bark texture or whatever you want to do, and you can make that like whatever you want. Just make sure it's the same exact size as here, as stated here. Or once you look into your graphics folder, you can look directly, or your designer can directly see what the dimensions are of each graphic. So just make sure it's the same. Like I said, you can use any type of texture, any color, whatever. It doesn't matter. And so once that's done, once all is done, you can simply just copy. And actually, before you copy, the branch left, this is the branch that shows up on the left side and points to the left. And this is the branch that shows up on the right side. And again, you can have your designer recreate these and do whatever you want with them, make them look cooler or whatever. Just make sure, like I said, the same dimensions. Once that's done, You just want to simply copy those, copy, and just paste it directly inside the assets folder itself. Just hit paste at root level of the assets folder, paste, and it's going to replace this one, this one, this one, and this one. I didn't mean to open that. Last but not least, we have the tap HUD, and basically what this is this just, as it shows you, this just tells the user to tap the screen. You can leave this the same or you can change it, doesn't really matter. Just make sure it's 480 by 65, and once you're done with it, you can copy it, make sure it's named the same, and paste it directly at root level of the assets folder, paste, and hit yes to all, boom, done. And that's it, guys. You're pretty much done reskinning the game. I just want, like I said, I wanted to make a video because I know that reading through documentation sometimes can be very, very cumbersome, and it can be really tough to keep up with it and kind of make sense of it. And your screen may look different than what's provided in the documentation. So I thought if I just made a video, it would make it much, much easier for you guys to kind of do the reskin yourself. So that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at casincogames@gmail.com. The email's directly inside of my documentation provided, and I wish you guys luck on your project.